So you're doing endless amounts of pull-ups, but seem to be stuck in a plateau. I was there, and now after an entire career in military special operations, as a ranger and working with all of the other special operations units within the U.S. military, I have seen what works, I have seen what doesn't work, and we've now trained hundreds of students to absolutely crush plateaus with things like pull-ups. The issue is most guys are training it wrong. We typically think that just more and more and more and harder is better. The problem is that the pull-up is a skill. In terms of a physical test within military boundaries, you are testing the skill of doing a pull-up. You are not testing the actual muscular strength. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if I was actually testing your muscular endurance with a pull-up, I would make you go up slow, I would make you come down slowly, but the reality is you're just being tested on whether you can perform the motion. So most guys waste a ton of energy. What we're actually doing is training the body for efficiency. The body creates efficiency through the nervous system, and the nervous system is basically, it runs throughout your entire body, and it tells the muscles when to fire, how to utilize energy, all of these things. So what we need to do is make ourselves utilize the least amount of energy executing the pull-up as possible. This will allow you to do more pull-ups. All right, so it's the same, when you look at CrossFit athletes and they're doing pull-ups where they're kipping, it's almost like they're swinging, they're figuring out how to utilize momentum to do more pull-ups. Now, you don't have that option in the military because you have to do pull-ups with good form. But for example, a tip for you guys is just try to come down from the top of the pull-up, utilizing the least amount of energy possible. You'll probably get an extra couple pull-ups just by doing that. But the way that we train is we utilize a nervous system training technique that allows us to get maximum volume without going to failure. The problem with failure is the second that you hit failure or go past failure, it takes an exponentially longer amount of time to actually recover. And you're not here in the business of necessarily building muscle. You're here in the business of achieving better pull-up numbers. So how do we combat this? Well, essentially what you have to do is we have to figure out how to get the most amount of volume away from failure. So we utilize a ladder system that allows us to do that, so that in a single training session, I can get the most amount of perfect pull-ups possible, utilizing rest, staying away from failure, and so that I can execute them over and over again. And I'm actually teaching my brain to do the movement most effectively, not necessarily the muscle. And this is something, again, because you need to recover and because you need to consistently get better, you're not doing this every single day. Most guys fall into the trap of, I just need to do more and more and more. But if you're not measuring yourself, then you never know if you're getting better. The reality is, probably a lot of you guys need to be doing less. And if you're not tracking, then you have no idea where your progress is. When we're training for special operations, we understand that it's a very difficult physical task. So we think that we need to just train and train and train, and this becomes an addiction to training. The issue is it doesn't let us get past step one. And step one is you have to crush the PT test to even get access to BUDS or SFAS or RASP or anything like that. So if you don't have access to the course, then you don't even have a chance. This is why phase one of training is so important. So think about it as the nervous system, not like a bodybuilder. You need to be able to get the maximum number of reps in. You need to be able to recover from those reps, and you need to train your body to perform the movement as efficiently as possible. If you want to understand how to do this in a very specific way that's custom to you, shoot me a text. You'll find the number in the description here as well. There's also a link in the description on the channel, and you and I can talk about it. Talk soon.